coffee using the Verismo single serve machine. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay guys, so the pods for the Verismo machine are a little bit different from the ones that we've talked about in the past with many other machines, and you can check out our other videos to find out a little bit more in depth about them. But let me just show one to you. I have here some of the Starbucks Verdana blend in this handy little orange pod. And one of the things that's very different about the Verismo pods over all the other pods that we've spoken about in the past is that on the bottom of the brewed pods, so any of the pods that are for making coffee, just regular cups of coffee, you're going to notice that you have this little silver foil covering. Now you need to remove that foil covering before you pop this pod into the machine, and I'll show you the difference between this pod and an espresso pod. You notice here on an espresso pod we do not have the silver lining on the bottom of the pod, and that's just because there's a different filtration system in the brewed pods. So you got to remember that, because if you don't do that, you're not going to be able to brew the right cup of coffee. So that's very simple. All that we need to do is simply take the little pull tab and just pull that off, and you'll hear a little bit of air come out because these are vacuum sealed. And you'll notice that there's just kind of a little white lining right there, and that's the actual filter for the coffee. So that's how we know the pod is ready to go. Now the machine, we need to get it ready to go as well. Now when you first power on the Verismo machine, all of the lights on the front are going to glow and they're going to blink. And then after they've done their blinking process for a little bit, the top button, which is the rinse and also the espresso brewing button, is going to start glowing. And when it glows, now you need to run a rinse cycle before you start making coffee. So the machine powers itself off after 30 minutes to save energy. So if you turn it back on, you need to run the rinse cycle again. So let me just show you how that's done. I have a relatively large Bodum double-walled cup right here that I'm going to use. It was a little big, so we took out the bottom tray. And you can find out more about removing the tray and things like that. Check out our other videos. But I'm just going to put that right there, and now I'm just going to press the top button to run the rinse cycle. So this is useful for a number of different reasons, because this is going to clean out any remaining coffee residue that's left after you've brewed in the past. And it's also going to get the machine ready for brewing, get all of the innards inside of it nice and hot and ready to brew. So you see, it doesn't run too much water on that rinse cycle. And when that's all done, you can just get rid of that. Now the good thing about this is this can also get your cup or your mug or anything else a little hot and ready to go. You know, we've definitely found that if you can keep your mug or your cup hot, you're going to get a better cup of coffee or espresso. So now that we've done that, we can go ahead and brew a cup of coffee. I'm going to take the Verismo pod, and I'm going to open up the pod container here on the top. And these are real simple to slide in because the top loading bay is the same size as the Verismo pod. So you just slide that right in, drop it in, and then close the lever on the top. And you'll feel it snap down onto the pod, which means that it's been punctured so that now water can be forced through that pod. We're going to take our warm cup now, put that right back under the brewing central station right here. And now I'm going to hit the second button down. This is the brewed button. And this is going to get the machine brewing our coffee. All right, so there you go. Now the machine has finished its brewing process. So you notice it does take a little bit of time, but I've noticed that the cup of coffee that comes out of the machine is pretty good, and that's probably due to the fact that it does have to take a little bit of time to brew that. So there you go. That's a simple cup of coffee using the Verismo. When you're all done brewing, all that you need to do is open up the lever on the top, and you're going to hear the empty Verismo pod drop down and into the storage container, which is right here underneath the brewing station. After that, you can brew another pod, or of course, you can just take your cup and get on the go. So there you go, guys. That's an exclusive from Aromacup.com showing you how you can make a brewed cup of coffee using the Starbucks Verismo single-serve coffee machine. Check out our other videos so that you can find some more recipes and a review of the Verismo from us here at Aromacup.com. And as always, thank you guys so much for joining me in my virtual coffee shop brought to you by Aromacup.com. Until next time, enjoy your cup and take care.